Nia.
And I'm Sydney.
And welcome to A Whole Lot of Baka.
In this episode, we'll conclude our discussion on Naruto episodes 20 through 37.
Spoiler alert, we will be talking about all of these episodes in detail. So if you haven't watched Naruto yet, come back next week when we have a bonus episode.
Alright, now that the Bakaness begin.
Welcome back, Baka family, to another week of Naruto. How are you, Sid?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself? Thanks for asking. I feel like we don't ever ask each other.
Good, you know. Well, I barely see you these days anymore. That's why now I gotta, this is the only time I see you now.
I know. I mean, it's not like we saw each other even when you were here, to be honest. When you think about it. I think we just talk
because normally you literally live yeah, it's different because you normally live 5 minutes down the street from me. So I don't, it's a little bit different now that I'm on the other side of the country is all I'm saying.
Yeah, we can't just go to each other's houses whenever the hell we want. So
yeah, exactly. But anyway,
enough of us.
Back with another episode. Yeah, enough of us. Who cares? This is an anime podcast. So we're back with another episode of Naruto, and this is where shit starts getting good.
Yep.
I'm so ready. I'm so pumped
exam.
because this is
the best.
CHUNIN EXAM.
CHUNIN exam is literally the best exam ever. I think Nia can agree that we love any exam. And if you put exam after any word and it's an anime, automatically love it.
Automatically, it's the best arc ever.
Literally, the table exam.
You don't have to ask us. Literally, if there's a show and the show has an exam arc, you don't even have to ask me what my favorite arc is. You already know it's the exam arc. And if it's not, that means that arc really sucked. But that's very rare.
Because that just means that you get to see. I think it's the introduction of the people that really makes me love the exams. Is that you get introduced to a lot of cool people and you try to figure out. And not even just that.
Right, but not even just that. You also get an introduction to what these characters are going to be doing, because normally the exams is what they're training to become or what it is that they're trying to do or whatever. So it gives you a good glimpse into what the show is about to be, basically. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, though, this exam starts with a written exam, and to be honest with you, that was a little lackluster.
Nobody likes that.
Who cares?
I actually didn't. It was okay compared to the other exams. It was lackluster, but I still did like the written exam. So
me too. I did not enjoy it. I just meant following up the fact that we were talking about how great exams are. This one started with a written one. So So their CHUNIN exams is broken up. This chair is so tall. This CHUNIN exams are broken up into 3 different exams. So you have a written one, and then the second and the third that we don't know what they are yet. So the first is the written, and basically even though they have to take the exam individually, they're scored as a group, as their 3-man team. So if anybody fails the exam, all 3 of you are failing, basically.
What I also thought was a really good aspect of this is the other precaution of the test that I really liked is the fact that cheating? That they can't cheat, and if you cheat, you get knocked out basically out of the exam, and so does your team. So it's you gotta pass the test and you can't cheat,
right?
Which I fucking was
and they ain't playing because they got 3 Jonins in there watching your ass to make sure that you don't.
And don't they have extra people on the side too?
Others? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 3 Jonins.
I thought it was more than that. I thought it was more than that. Than 3. I don't know why.
Maybe there are.
I thought it was a person every row. Every row, I thought it was a person over there marking down whatever. But shit's hard. Shit is hard.
Yeah. Because obviously, as we know, Naruto is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to brains. He almost failed out of the exam. So this already is not looking good for Team 7. And they're not allowed to cheat. So as we get into what each of them are thinking, they're looking at the exam, and both Sasuke and Sakura are okay, this is a hard test that even I'm going to struggle with. I know for a fact Naruto's not passing this shit. So already it's at a very pessimistic.
Before all of this, what's so funny is that they were oh, everybody's going to be tested. you know, you fail, you get out. They're like, oh, that's fine. Like, I'll pass this, whatever, before they even know how hard the test is. Mm-hmm. I loved their reaction when they found out that they were going to be tested as a whole, because they were like, fuck. Like, it doesn't matter if the test is easy or not. We are not going to get through this because of Naruto. And then finding out that the test on top of that is hard as fuck, they were like, we're not even going to pass.
Like, let's just get up and walk out right now at this
point. Right?
There's no hope. So, like, while everybody else, okay, so you're not supposed to cheat, but, like, literally everybody's cheating. Like, Sasuke uses his Sharingan, Neji uses his Byakugan. Oh, Neji, I totally forgot. We didn't introduce who the fuck that is. So, given that these are exams, like, there are a bunch of other ninja there taking the exams. And ninja from, like, the Leaf Village, ninja from other villages. And so, like, before the exam actually started, we met all these other ninjas already.
Yeah, Neji.
And so, like, they're
Lee,
also, yeah.
10-10.
Gaara,
and then his siblings, and then...
Right.
Who else? We're missing...
The Sound Ninja. Kabuto.
Shino. Right?
Hinata, Kiba. I mean, but we've seen them before. Yeah, we've seen them before because we know that Naruto went to the academy with them. So the only new people who we're really seeing now are the people who are from outside of the village, and then Lee, Neji, and Tenten, because they're older, so they weren't like in the same class as Naruto and Sasuke were.
Yeah.
So they're like the only new people that we meet, and in that time, Sasuke and Lee actually fought. Yeah. Because everybody's like scoping each other out, like this is our first time, you know, I mean, especially them as Genin, but like, you know, this is our first time coming together in this village, and we're just like trying to scope each other out, like, you know, what can you do? Like, I know what I can do, but like,
what makes you so special?
Exactly. So he ends up fighting Lee, and he does not win.
I mean, the other thing is like, why? A part of that is like, if as Sasuke being like the kind of person that he is, be like, why are you here when you're older than us? So like, Sasuke really probably thought that he was gonna win that shit.
Well, they've talked about like how, you know, you can take the Chunin exams at like any age. Like, even if you fail, you can always come back and try again. So everybody here is not Naruto and Sasuke's ages. Like, there are some people who are like teenagers. There are some people who are like young adults. There are some people who are their age. Like, it's a whole age group spectrum kind of going on here.
Well, I know that.
Which kind of shows them that they're not like, as hot shit as they think.
I mean, but still, being the way Sasuke is, I still expected him to be like, oh, well, why didn't you do it earlier? We got to do it earlier because we're just that fucking good. So, like, that means I could be better than you. That's the kind of mindset that I think some of them came into that shit with. Clearly.
I mean, that's definitely the mindset that a majority of them came in with, for sure. Like, Neji and Gaara, they definitely came in like expecting to breeze right through it, like how Killua and Gon did with their exams. Like, they had no worries for this at all. And so, exactly. So when the exam finally starts, you already have like the tension of all of these ninjas just like sitting in the cafeteria, like staring at each other, basically. And then they like, you know, so there's already like this tension, and Naruto, to make it even worse, he's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about who's in this room. I'm going to be Hokage. I'm going to win. And then he drops Mike, fucks y'all, bye. You know what I mean?
The heavens. Oh my gosh. I was like, Naruto, shut the fuck up.
Literally everybody said that. Everybody's just looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right, you're literally the first years. We don't even know who you are. Like, you come in here thinking you're hot shit because you're younger than everybody, and you don't normally
you don't even know what the Chunin is.
Right.
You didn't even know what the Chunin were 10 minutes ago. Like, and now you walking up in here with balls of steel. Like, calm the fuck down, please.
Go sit down. Go suck on your bottle and your thumb.
Like, I mean, but hey, this is Naruto. This is how he is, and he has just as much bark as he does bite. This is what we find out about his little feisty ass. But anyway, so the Chunin exam begin, and they're all like cheating. Like Sasuke uses his Sharingan, Neji uses his Byakugan, which is also like a Ai Kekkei Genkai that he has, which is apparently supposed to be better than the Sharingan, but like, we don't know. That's how they introduced Neji to us. Like, oh, he's the one that's supposed to be.
I actually love Byakugan, to be honest with you.
Me too. I love Neji so much. I love Neji. But I love Lee too. I really like their whole group. I love Guy Sensei. Guy and Lee are like the most well-written characters ever. They're fucking hilarious.
They're so funny. Like, the fact that they both look the same, and I was like, oh, that's his dad. Find out, no, homeboy just copied his fucking look because he like looks up to him. I'm just
like, a whole drip.
The whole hairstyle, everything. The only thing that they don't have is the fact that the only thing that they don't have is that freaking Lee got them bushy ass eyebrows and Guy doesn't. That's literally the only difference that they have.
They still both got some thick ass eyebrows though, regardless.
Anyway,
I love those. I love their introduction into the show. I really love them. Like, I love these characters. What do you think of Gaara and his siblings? Like, after we met him,
I didn't know they were siblings, even though they said it. I don't think that it dawned on me.
Do we know that? I don't know. I don't know if we know that, but I mean, yeah, they're siblings.
You said siblings. You're the one that asked the question.
Yeah, I did. It's okay. Just answer the question.
Exactly. So at this point, we don't know if they're siblings or not, but we do at the same time. I thought that they all, as a lineup, I was like, they seem like some pretty badass kids. I don't know if I could say much about the other two. I think I can only focus really mainly on how I felt about Gaara because, like, they obviously put a little bit more attention to him. Basically, kind of showing.
True, but when they pop up, it's Kankuro being a bully.
Yeah, but like, still, looking at Kankuro, I was like, oh God. So like, I tried not to pay attention to him because I was like, he's kind of scary looking, a little weird looking. Why the fuck is your face painted like that? So. But they did focus a little bit on Gaara, and just his demeanor was like kind of off-putting.
The way he popped up on the tree.
Yeah, like Kankuro, like he came out looking like, or came out seeming like not as taken aback, like, or scared of, like, whatever. Gaara was different, and so that's why I was like, yo, what the fuck going on with him?
Right.
What's her face?
Tamari.
I was about to say Anari. Tamari, I don't think I had any thoughts about Tamari yet.
I mean, yeah, she didn't really do anything at this point.
Yeah. So it was really just Gaara that I was like, oh, what's going on there?
Right, like, ooh, like, he got no eyebrows. Like, why he look like that?
And a tattoo on his forehead. I was like, you dope.
Forehead.
You dope as fuck. Like, that was my thought. He's like, you're a kid. You have a
eyeliner on his eyes.
Emo to the max.
Right, I loved him immediately. Like, I haven't even seen him yet.
The first emo person I'd ever seen in an anime. You can't tell me that he was not the first emo person you've seen in an anime.
He was, because this was my first anime. So.
I was going to say, granted, this was your first anime, so I mean, But anyway, they're cheating or whatever. They're like, please, Naruto, like, think about the fact, just try to cheat. Try to cheat and not get caught. And they're just trying to, like, pray and hope that Naruto is going to do it. And he does it.
He's like sitting there frozen.
Frustrated.
He's just frozen.
Yes, like, I was like, oh,
he doesn't do anything. He doesn't answer, but he does literally nothing. He wrote his name and that was it.
That's
like,
it. That's it. While you have
SpongeBob, where all he wrote was the.
Oh yeah, with the Romanization, royal looking font and whatnot. Yes, that's exactly what it reminds me of. And I was like, Naruto, please, please, please get it. And then
I was honestly so stressed out for him at this point. Like, I'm so stressed watching. Like, it's just a written exam. Why am I so stressed out? But
like at least try to guess on some of this shit. Like, he wasn't even trying to guess or nothing. But like, everybody's dropping like lies, and I think that's also what frustrated him a lot, is because like people were cheating, and he's like, I want to cheat so bad, but like I'm seeing number 53 out, number 22 out, number 81 out, and so he's like getting discouraged. Yeah, and then he's like, I don't want to like piss off. He's like, if I fail this, I have to come back next year, and I don't want to do that. Number one. Number two, Sasuke and Sakura are gonna be on my ass if I get caught. And I know, and he's probably like, I know I'm going to be the one of all three. I'm going to be the one to get caught. And so he's like, I have to try. But then he still doesn't try. He still doesn't even try to write anything down.
He literally just, I'm like, not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here.
Either whatever route you take at this point, Naruto, you're going to get everybody failed. You're not answering shit, but you're also not cheating.
Right, do something. But he ends up getting saved because, like, they still had the last question that needed to get answered. So the proctor goes through, like, a thinning out process where he's like, I'm going to give you this option before I give you the question. You can either leave and try again next year, or you can answer the question, get it wrong, and be a Genin for the rest of your life. Like, you can never come back and try again.
Yeah.
And so what would you choose?
Wow. This is such a hard question and thought because of the fact that my first reaction is like, what is, like, depends on the question, but obviously they don't know the question. Right. I would probably come back next year.
Honestly, I probably would too because I'm such an overthinker. Like, I overthink myself to death. I would probably come back the next year.
Yeah, you do. I would probably, like, the overthinking is not what would make me choose that. It's just the fact that, you know, it's either, like, I could fail and then not ever be able to come back, or I can go home and prepare even more and be even stronger. Like, yes, I'm a year late. I've already tried before, but, like, I can prepare myself even more for the exam. And so it's just like it would be just a good opportunity for me to get better and stronger. I don't understand why anybody would not take that in the real world, but you know,
right.
They're different. They're a different breed. So what would you like? So you would leave.
Yeah, I would leave. I mean, honestly, it probably depends on how confident I felt in myself for this exam. Like, there are some exams that I take where, like, I know I'm going to get 100 on it and I'm not worried about it at all. And, like, I don't even study. I just go and take it and, like, boom, I'm done. But, like, there are some where I'm, like, really, like, it just depends on how confident I feel about this exam, like how much I prepared before I came in, and whether or not I would do it. I think maybe like because when it comes to exams and studious stuff, I'm usually on top of it, so maybe I would try since it's just like.
But like if it's like you might have been prepared for the actual exam, but like who's to say that this last question is not a curveball thrown at you? Who's to say this is like a question that has nothing to do with being a ninja, but something to do with another topic? You know what I mean? So it's like you might have been prepared for the actual.
Well, if that were the case, then even.
So like,
but if that were the case, there would be no point of me even going home to prepare more for the next year because it's not a ninja question. There's nothing I can do. If I'm not prepared already, then I'm not going to be able to go home and prepare more for a question that's like, I might as well just fucking do it and hope that just like that is close enough to what I studied that I can make a good enough inference to get the right answer.
Well, I would still go back because when I said prepare for the exams, I didn't mean like that specific exam. I just mean in general. But if you go back, you can always get a little insight from the people that came before, that you already took the exam with before and been like, hey, what was that question? What kind of question? You can get a little dirt.
It's not going to be the same question.
Okay, but I can get an idea. I didn't think that it was going to be the same question. I'm just saying I can get an idea of what kind of question it could be. I know it's not going to be the same one.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
To get a little idea.
I probably wouldn't do
that. I would still go back. I would go back home. I can't do that.
I think I wouldn't take it, actually. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. I think it'd be okay.
See, Nia says that she's an overthinker, but then at the same time, she's a go with the wind kind of person. So it never makes any sense, and I never know what is going through Nia's head when it comes to certain situations. Because there are times where I
do overthink. I'm gonna go with the wind, but I'm gonna overthink it as I'm going. Like I'm overthinking.
but you just said before that you would overthink it and just not take the question. But then now you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do the quiz. It just doesn't make any sense. There's so many times where there's a situation I'm like, oh, Nia's gonna overthink it and not do it, and the next second Nia's like, I'm doing it, and I'm like, wait, I thought, what? That's Nia.
You never know. That's why my answer is it depends. It depends on where my mind is that day.
I mean, I guess that would be the same for me, but most likely I would probably go back and take it off.
I think most likely I would do it. Just because when I really think about it and knowing myself when it comes to taking tests, I think I'd do okay. I just do it.
I wish that, I wish there was like an actual like exam, like how like the creators of Naruto were like, oh, there's actually a legit exam, and you could take it as a fan, and we could.
They might, how they have like a Naruto. They have a Naruto world in Japan where you actually can like learn how to be a ninja, and like I don't know if they have the written exam, but like they do have like little ninja tests for you to take.
I know about that, but I'm saying like the exam, I would like to know what like the questions were on the exam so I could see how dumb Naruto actually is for real. And to see if I could pass it myself. I mean,
well, they said it was really hard and it looked like it was math, just like when they showed it.
Oh.
Probably like the trajectory you're throwing your shuriken in when the wind is at a 45 mile per hour speed, probably some shit like that. I don't know.
I would still want to see the questions. I would still try it. Yeah, I would obviously fail because I'm not actually trying to be a ninja and this is not real. So like I would still want to see
it. Yeah. But luckily for them, so all of them, every group that we've been introduced to so far, they all stayed. None of them like got up and left. A lot of people like shit their pants and ran out. But none of the people who we've been introduced to did. So luckily for them, everybody who stayed automatically passed because what was his?
They didn't even get a question. Actually, they didn't even get a question. It was just to see, like,
and no, it was just the fact that they chose to stay
and risk their career and their life and whatnot.
Risk
Mm-hmm. Which at such a young age, you would have never thought that they would like be that way. I feel like kids nowadays would be
like you're 12. Like you're 12 and you're giving up your chance of ever trying again.
Right.
And you're 12.
That takes guts, man.
You know what I mean?
Maybe they do have bigger balls than we think they do.
Clearly. Just by that, like they were able to pass. And I don't blame them. I would have passed that for them for that too.
Yeah. And then their next exam was what was their next exam?
Is it announced? Yeah. The proctor shows up. Well, first he explains like the purpose of the exam, which was basically like you were supposed to cheat. But like you weren't supposed to get caught. Like you were supposed to, show that you're a ninja who can collect information without getting caught, which is what a ninja is supposed to do.
Yeah. And Naruto ends up being the first one to not answer a damn thing, and still pass.
A damn thing because he's a true hero. Like if there's anyone to look up to, it's Naruto.
And this is the person who wants to be Hokage.
Right. So then, like they introduce the second exam, and Anko shows up. And she's already like a firecracker. She's not happy about how many people have passed. So she's already like, we already know she's about to go hard on them. She does not want as many people passing the exam. And that's all we know.
Which is crazy because it doesn't make any sense. Why would you not want that many people? Don't you want a lot of fucking ninja? But okay, whatever. And they do the Forest of Death exam too.
The Forest of Death. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. I apologize for that.
Let's just go get on with the forest.
Just forget it. Yeah, seriously. So, we've already been talking about the first one, but like the first exam was a written exam, which like, who cares? But finally the second
everybody fails those.
I know, well they passed, but I know. So for the second exam, they're in the Forest of Death actually. And okay. I'm jumping a little bit ahead. They're in the Forest of Death, but where it picks up is actually like after they finish the first exam, and Iruka is actually super pissed that Kakashi wants them to like be in the exam. Like he's still not over it.
Even though, like we said in the last episode, Iruka Sensei knew that Kakashi, or found out that Kakashi was their teacher. So like, and honestly, after you move them on and you find out that it's Kakashi, just get over it now.
I mean, because didn't they already mention how Kakashi is like the top ninja in the village? So if anyone's in good hands, I feel like it would be these 3 kids.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You shouldn't even be worried.
Right. Anyway, he's still fucking tripping about it. So they have to do a preliminary exam before the second exam starts, which is like, it's not really a preliminary exam. It's more like a test to see if they're like ready. And so like they do all these fake things. Like I think it's Iruka doing all of it. And he's like dressed up and he like kidnaps Konohamaru and like he has to go get Konohamaru. Basically like sets up all of the genin who are supposed to be moving on to see if they'll pass like this little trial thing. And of course,
obviously, they're all amazing, so of course they would.
Right, so Aruka's feeling all humbled and shit, and Kakashi's like, I told you.
I got this. Let me handle it.
Are you a Jonin or am I a Jonin? I just need a reminder.
Right, last time I checked, you decided to stay back there. You didn't want to level up.
Right.
Stay where you are.
So anyway, they all pass, and so they move on to the Forest of Death, where they have a scroll, the Earth Scroll, and they have to find a Heaven Scroll. Yeah. So basically,
yeah, they do. They have the Earth Scroll, and they have to find a Heaven Scroll, or whatever.
Of course, like the other teams, like so. For example, you have Naruto's team, but then you have Gaara's team. Gaara's team could have a Heaven Scroll.
Yeah.
So you're trying to run into another team and fight them for their scroll so that you can get whatever pair that you need, and then you have to get out of the forest alive.
But you can't open the scrolls. Oh, mysterious. Don't know what the fuck that was about, honestly, until later. But
till later.
Obviously, somebody we see somebody who opens the scroll almost immediately out of the fucking gates, and then we do actually see the consequences of that, which I thought was like you'd get killed, but I feel like that's a little too harsh.
A little too harsh for the kids.
So they just got, but like they're already training to be ninjas, so it's like let's set a hard example by killing you, but that's not what they did.
Yeah,
which
it's not the hunter exam. That's what they did.
Oh yeah, not like the hunter exam where you die, you die. I can't do shit about it. Sorry,
not our problem. No, but yeah. So the second exam, we see them all like break off and go their different ways in the forest. And like when I mean survive, like they literally have to like fend for themselves, shelter, food, water. And
I would expect that if you're gonna be I would expect that because like if you're gonna be a ninja and you're gonna be doing missions. You might be gone for a good couple weeks, months, whatever. Like, you need to know how to do that. What's so funny is that you don't ever see them talk about it. I don't think that they told the kids that they had to fend for themselves. It's just one of those things where it's like, you just got to know that this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
I think you're right.
Would you have survived?
Exactly. I would have, actually. I spend a lot of time in the woods. I know exactly what to do if I get trapped if I have to go in the woods. Would you?
Yes, I think I would too, because I have background in survival in all that aspects of learning how to like navigate without using a compass and like seeing, if the moss grows on this side of the tree. The sun is setting this way, so like I need to be going this way, or like whatever.
The only thing that would be a problem is like the ninja coming to kill me.
No, yes, that's the only problem. Actually, being in the woods, I got that. The ninja,
I got that part. I would enjoy that so much. It's the ninja that's like.
I would have been like, please, here, Earth Scroll, Earth, please.
Just let me chill in my tent, please.
Right. I didn't want to be a ninja anyway. Immediate. Especially going up against some of them. Hell no.
Gaara?
Hell no. Gara, literally, that's what I was thinking of. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was like, Gara, I can't do it.
It doesn't matter if you get this scroll, if you give him your scroll or not, he's killing you anyway. And I love these episodes because, like, okay, so we already saw Gara, obviously, like in the last part, but it's only in these episodes do we find out that he is the true definition of a psychopath.
Yes. I love it, though.
Exactly. This is where you love Gara, like in these episodes right here.
I don't understand how people don't like Gara. If there are people out there that don't like Gara, what is wrong with you?
I'm just going to assume that no one out there doesn't like Gara.
I'm going to look it up because I actually do want to see what people say about Gara and how they feel about Gara. I'm going to look it up. Yeah. Because there's always somebody that hates somebody.
Yeah. I'm sure there's someone out there, honestly. Yeah.
And I would never be their friend.
Well, damn.
Just saying. So if you don't like Gara, fuck you. I can't be friends with you.
I mean, yes, fuck you, but like we can still be friends.
Nah. If you like Sakura, no, we can't be friends. If you don't like Sakura, we can't be friends.
Yeah, that one's a little bit harder to excuse.
Same thing with Gara, though.
So anyway, like, so we see Gara killing these people because who does he come across first? I think it's just some random other.
Yeah, he doesn't come across anybody special. He comes across just people, and I don't even think that he kills them for their scroll. He just does it really for sport.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not getting away from him if you face him.
And his siblings are sitting there like, oh no, you didn't piss him off. Like, oh well. Like, they're just completely fine. Okay. Backtrack.
I mean, well, what are they going to do? Because clearly, because as soon as they did speak up, he's like, I'm sorry, I don't see you as a sibling. Like, you can catch these
I'll kill you next.
Open up your mouth again and see who's next. Is basically what he said.
What's so crazy is I watched Naruto and they said that they were siblings, but like it never registered in my brain that they actually were siblings. Even though they said it, I don't remember them saying it. They look so
because it's more like Kankuro like threatening him. Like that's kind of how you find out because he's threatening him, like trying to get him to calm down, and then Gara's like, "No, make me."
Yeah. But still, like, even if they say that, like, they're siblings, like, it's still, I'm like, they're such the weirdest dynamic of siblings ever that, like, when they did say that they were siblings, it just kind of, like, went in one ear and out the other. And my brain was like, there's no way they're fucking siblings. And the thought went out my head. It was crazy.
Yeah, I feel you because, like, you got Kankuro with his puppets and his fucking weird makeup and shit. And Tamari, I mean, honestly, I can see Tamari in Gara other than the fact that they look nothing alike. But, like, Tamari is, like, a genius and Gara is a genius. So, like, I'm not surprised there. It's just, like,
I think it's him that throws me off.
Yeah, he's too black sheep to fit into this. But either way. Kiba, Hinata, and Shino are the ones that are, like, witnessing this. And they're, like, shitting their pants. I don't blame them because if I was in that bush, I don't know what I would do, honestly, as we said.
And they're, like, stunned. But they're stunned that, like, he's doing all this and he has not moved a muscle. Like, he's not getting any scratches, no nothing. Like, the sand is at his will, all that stuff. And they're just like, we've never seen anything like this before. He's not even using, like, actual,
really, like last week, they're just in the village, do, 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 do. And, like, here come these fucking kids. And then here come these kids killing people in the sand.
Right. Over here eating ramen and all that stuff, and then these kids over here
traumatized,
fighting for their lives.
No. Right, like this is not a joke to them. Like this is real. Ninja is life. Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, obviously, being a part of the Leaf Village, you're being on.
Actually, during this arc, like I said in the last episode, the more we move in to Naruto, the more it's feeling less and less like a Shonen Jump, even though it is because of how dark and gory it's kind of getting. And just the storyline in general. Because as we go more and more into the forest, I mean, like, we have Gara murdering people in cold blood, not even for a scroll, just cuz. And then threatening his siblings. And then on the other side,
he loves the smell of blood. What'd you say?
Right, and he's talking about it's feeding, like, his demon, and he needs more of it. So you're watching it kind of like, what the fuck is going on with this kid?
Right.
And then on the other side of it, Naruto... Right, Naruto and his group are faced with like some weirdo from the grass village who like infiltrates them because like he can do mimicry or whatever, and so he like they get separated because he's mimicking Naruto and they have like a code or whatever, but it's like this creepy fucking lady from the grass village, and you're just like, and she's talking about prey and predation and stuff, and these poor kids
are like, I'm just here to get your scroll. All I'm trying to do is get your scroll. Leave me alone. Let me get it. Go on.
Talking about.
They're like,
you can have it. Like, I'm good.
She reminds me of like one of those doomsday like crazy folks.
Yes,
like we're
just taking advantage of that time.
Yes, like no, and then so when Naruto comes out and they're like, oh, what's the code word? Like this long ass sentence that freaking Sasuke makes or whatever. They're like, there's no fucking way. They're like, there's no fucking way that you. They didn't even make that code word for Naruto to remember. They made that code word so that if anybody else remembered it, it's not Naruto, and that's exactly what the fuck. They were like, come on, Naruto, you just complained about how long it was, and now all of a sudden you remember it
perfectly. Like you've been studying it for hours. No,
when we just found out what it was. Like
nothing Naruto I know.
Nope.
Anyway, so, no. What did you think about that ninja? Because that bitch was scary.
I mean, like I said, she reminds me of one of them doomsday crazy folks. So, like, those are the people that I walk across the street to avoid.
Yeah.
So, like, honestly, I probably wouldn't have given her my scroll, but, like, I definitely would have ran the opposite way. Because, like...
Okay, she had a giant snake. Like, you weren't running nowhere.
I guess, yeah.
You were not running anywhere.
That is very true.
Even Sasuke himself, once again, is shitting his pants in this scene.
I was really tired of Naruto. Sasuke doing this. Because it's like, you badass as fuck. Why do you keep doing this?
And since, like, you know exactly what to do.
Mm.
You've been in this situation before. Like... There's honestly nothing different about this situation you've been in before.
Maybe he sensed how much more like worse this person is. Because you know how like just by being around somebody you can sense them. Maybe he sensed how crazy this person was more than like anybody else. And so that's when he was like, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I was really annoyed with him doing that too. Always like even Sakura was like, are you good?
You straight?
Like, you really just don't sit there?
I mean, she sat there and did nothing.
I mean, as expected, what was she gonna do? Sasuke could do something.
Don't know. Okay, but if Sasuke's shitting her pants and she's so in love with Sasuke and she wants to save him, make sure that he's okay, jump into battle, do something, fight the snake. I don't know.
She wasn't gonna do nothing but die. He's incapable.
Why the fuck are you here?
Like, even if she did jump in, it wasn't gonna do nothing but get her killed. That would have made no difference.
That is true. That is
exactly. True. So Naruto finally comes back after defeating the snake that he was almost eaten by. Which I was like, how convenient. Like, he's just spending... I knew he wasn't gonna get eaten, but it's like, okay, right. I guess they just needed to, like, waste more time and put him inside of a snake of all fucking places.
So I just don't understand why it took him so long, though.
To get out the snake?
Yeah. Because it's like,
I mean, obviously, Shadow Clone was smart, but it took him a minute to get there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, the only jutsu that you can do is Shadow Clone jutsu or whatever. And it's like, you're over here trying to fight the snake from inside. Like, what is that going to do? He's over there trying to fight the snake from inside, this big-ass thing. Use your Shadow Clone. Come on now.
He tries his best. That's all we can say. He's not all there. But I love when he shows up because, number one, he also shits on Sasuke and is like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just sitting here like a little bitch. As he should. As he should. Loved that. And then he uses the Ninetales again.
Yay! You're never...
Time he uses that.
I was gonna say, you never get old. Like, it never gets old. The Ninetales never get old. even though he used it, 5 episodes ago, you're still like, yes. But it does scare me just about every single time, because it's like, I mean, even though I've watched it before, it's still scary because it's like at any moment it could have unleashed and like been absolute hell on earth.
Yeah.
You obviously don't,
because he doesn't have control over it. He still doesn't even really actually realize what's happening either, and especially just knowing how much power that it is. So here, what's crazy about this scene is, so he uses his Ninetales ability. The guy or the girl who they're fighting seems to already know, like, both of them. Like, she knows that Sasuke is an Uchiha, and she knows about Naruto's Ninetales.
And it just seems like she's like completely after Sasuke, though. Like, the way that she like came to them and sent Naruto off, like that's a little, like, if you were trying to, if you know about both of them, but you sent one of them off, like, there's something about Sasuke. Now, when I first watched, I was like, is this Sasuke's mother? Or like sister or some shit? Maybe not mother, because like they're not that far in age, but they're too close to be mom and son. But like when I first watched it, I was like, is this like a cousin or like a sister or something that, like, you know, I think of like Hela from Thor and whatnot, where she like got outcasted. So I thought that was like his sister being outcasted and she come back to beat his ass.
Right, as for revenge.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. I don't know, it's really weird because at this point you're starting to see that, you know, she has another motive besides just getting the scroll. Like, this has gone way past her getting the scroll. Yeah. Because at first she was like, oh, whoever's going to get the scroll, like, the other person's going to die. And she ate it. And then she said it on
like,
fire.
You're right. You're trying to kill
like, at first you ate it. It's like, okay, now I got to cut your ass open to get it. But then you set it on fire and it's like, okay, what are we doing? What was the point of this?
Why? So yeah, definitely on the motive of, I'm gonna kill you, not just get your scroll.
Yeah, and then she's like, I don't know. It's like it seemed like she turned off Naruto's Ninetale ability.
Oh, with the
like he was like in Ninetale state at 1 second. Yeah, and then like I said, like she somehow knows him, knows the seal and whatever. Does the seal
and can do that.
And it seems like she like locked it because it's like turned off, and he's like unconscious for like, you know, the next 2 days.
Like, right? He was unconscious for a long ass time.
Yeah, like I don't know what he did to Naruto,
but he didn't.
Homie was out. Like,
well, but I forgot, all at the same time,
one of the most iconic.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Hello.
Hello. You started talking, so I want to listen your thought.
Okay, it's hard because this freaking lagged. I guess we can cut this part out. So where are we at? 23 minutes. Yeah. Also at this part is the iconic moment. So when he turns into the Ninetales, it's because the snake is about to attack Sasuke, and so he catches the snake, and Sakura and Sasuke are all shook that he's this strong because they don't remember him being in the Ninetale state from Zabuza
because they weren't there.
Because Sakura wasn't there. So yeah, Sakura wasn't there, and Sasuke was unconscious because he did it after he thought Sasuke was dead. So this is their first time seeing Naruto like this.
Only person that would understand what the fuck is going on is Kakashi.
Haku? Oh yeah, Kakashi, yeah. And he's not there. But also, I just remember how up to this part, everybody's been like shitting on Naruto because no one knows that he's no longer a goofball. So he's really like showing himself to like everybody in this part of the season.
The first time I watched it, I didn't realize that they didn't know about the Ninetales. So like when I first saw how shocked they were, I was like, why are y'all shocked? Like, he's done this before. But then when I watched it again, I was like, well, yeah, true. They technically were not there. Even if their body was, they weren't there.
Right. So, yeah, exactly. So they're like, you know, surprised, like seeing this, and Naruto like calls Sasuke a scaredy cat like he did him the last time, which is so funny how fucking petty Naruto is. But
even though he knows nothing. Naruto
Literally
acts
nothing,
like he knows a lot.
The pettiest.
But he really
Pure
doesn't
front.
know shit. Pure front. Like, the only thing you know is the nine-tailed fox. If you didn't have the nine-tailed fox, you would only have the shadow clones. That's it.
Yes.
So at the same time, it was so crazy.
And honestly, he wouldn't even have that. He wouldn't even have that.
No. But so at the same time, they like they get like an alert or whatever that there's been like there's like a group of dead people. You remember that? And
yeah.
They went to go see. Yeah, it was like with no faces. And so like Anko, the person who's like doing the exam or whatever, the officiant, whatever, she comes and she's like, okay, show me. Sees it and she goes, oh shit. And it just seems like everybody knows who the fuck this is that did this but us. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on?
It's like one of those moments where you look at your friend, you know, when something happens and you just look at your friend and y'all make eye contact like, oh shit.
Like
that's what it's like. Immediately you're like, what am I missing? Like, clearly this is not a good thing. Like,
and at the same time you look at the person and you're like, that person looks like the person that they're fighting.
Who's fighting Naruto. Yeah, it's like you see the body and it's like the exact same outfit and you're like, no,
with the tie
way.
With the tie in the back? Yes. And I'm like, wait, that girl has a tie. Also, we see this person before they even start the exam. Way before
being creepy then too.
So I'm I'm just wondering if whoever has taken over her body clearly.
I don't remember exactly what happened, but like she caught something with her tongue. She was a freaking weirdo then.
Yeah. So so that means that whatever happened with her happened way before we even meet her.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever parasite, whatever shit happened to her happened before.
It must have been because they found her body outside of the forest also. And the forest is already locked up when they let everybody in. So she must have been turned before she... Yeah.
Which I think that she might have gotten... That she got turned even before then. You remember when they like meet Kabuto and all that stuff? When they first meet him? And they tell like the cards or whatever that he has. You remember?
Yeah. Maybe back then,
Don't we meet her then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think whatever changed her happened before even that.
Maybe. Because I don't remember her being as creepy back then though.
I don't know. I'm just saying that it's definitely between then and when they get into the forest.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like she was already on Naruto and Sasuke even at that point before they even started the whole exam. So that's why I was like, maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know.
But anyway, so all of this stuff is going on, and back to the fight with Naruto and Sasuke. After Naruto's like knocked unconscious, Sasuke finally mans up and fights, and he awakened another Sharingan Tomoe in his eye. So before he only had 2 in 1, now he has 2 in both.
Yeah.
So
I think they like
pretty sure that implies that he's huh?
I think they like the tag team. Naruto and Sasuke. It's like one down, the other one comes up, the other one down, the other one comes up. Like,
I know.
Wow.
Exactly.
They can't just fight together.
Yeah, I know. It's really sad. But it's because like they have that parallel thing that they're supposed to have going on, I think.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to like not outshine the fight, because if they both fight, it's like it's gonna be over quicker if they both fight at the same time, because they are just so like strong themselves. So it's like we're not trying to outshine each other, so we're just gonna go one this time, and then back and forth like that, which is good.
You power up this time, I'll power up next time.
Yeah.
But, you know, even though he fights with his Sharingan and he's fighting against the creepy woman, she gets him.
Yeah. If you have, like, little snakes, then it's easy. Like, Sasuke only has Sasuke. If you have, like, your little snake friends to help you and all that stuff, obviously, like, he's not going to
your
win.
mouth and you can turn into a
Your
snake.
Arms.
Like, didn't they like straight up kill her at one point, and it was like she just regenerated or something?
Did they actually kill her?
I think they like she should have been dead. Like they cut her in half or something. I don't know.
Oh, I think I remember. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, she got cut in half, but then
she just slipped
and came right back.
Yeah, I was like, huh? Yeah, she's creepy. But like, so anyway, then her face starts peeling off. By this point, we know that she's not
the same.
Who she's supposed to be.
The same person.
So now her face is peeling off. Sasuke's poisoned. Anko's all like, I have to do this. I will kill you today. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And even at this point, I already knew this girl was in over her head talking about she was going to kill him. Because, okay, so we know that they're like connected somehow because she also has the mark and she's talking about how like they, you know, I guess, I don't know, maybe master, whatever. We don't know. They didn't go that much in depth about it. But they have some type of connection. And she's like, I'm going to kill him. This is over tonight. And even then, I'm like, girl. I haven't seen what you can do yet. Right. I haven't seen what you can do yet. But I've seen what this guy who you talking about can do. And I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. No.
Absolutely not. Like, I'm just like, you're like one of those.
Even the way you're talking about him.
You are the teacher for this exam. So in my mind, I'm already thinking that you ain't shit. Honestly. Because it's like, you ain't got no better job to do. You're not on a mission? Huh?
Well, the guy who did the first exam was like their special... Wasn't he like their secret intelligence, like headed secret intelligence guy who tortures people who did the last exam? So I assume that everybody who did the exam were like Jonin and people who are already like higher up.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure she is, but like for some reason I just look at her and I'm just like, you ain't shit compared to these others. Like, I don't know. There's just something about looking at her where I'm just like, I don't see you doing any damage.
I agree with you there. Yeah, to this guy. I mean, because what we've seen so far has already been so sick and psychotic that it's like, okay, no, you're not gonna beat him. Like, and we find out in this moment that it's Orochimaru,
and that was her mentor,
identity, one of
her master,
right? One of the legendary Sannin, and that he's one of the most, like, he's on the list of one of the most dangerous rogue ninjas.
But then wasn't he one of like the most respected ones too at some point?
Because he's in the legendary Sannin, I would assume so.
So whatever he was supposed to be such a good person. He was supposed to be such a good person and just turned away.
I mean, just the fact that everybody in the village knows who he is, and like just hearing his jutsu, they know who he is. That kind of lets you know that he must be from this village for everyone to like automatically know him, or whatever happened in this village. B, especially along with Anko's little additions, like he must have been like a ninja that was like a part of this village. I was like teaching people. Like basically in this moment you understand that he's like Zabuza from this village.
At first, when I learned that like that was her master, a part of like me was like, wait, so you were a bad person? How did you get on the good side? Like that was just like dumb in the moment Sydney thinking, where I was like, you were bad? How did you become good? And like, what? And then to find out that actually he was good.
Immediately I was like, oh. Right. Like, wait, I see where this is going here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's been but he gets away, of course. Like she goes to fight him and does nothing.
Right. Literally is a Sakura. Is that her mom?
I mean, she at least fought.
She did. She had potential. But if that's her master, you can't expect to be able to one-up him immediately. So her persistence of being like, I'm going to kill him, it's going to be tonight, it's going to be today. Was,
I mean, I would assume that being that that's your master, you could have done better than that because, you know, you're learning the same things. But it doesn't seem like they were learning the same things, so I don't know what she was going to do.
Well, in my head, as in a master, like, you teach your students to do certain things, but that doesn't mean that they know everything about you specifically. You know, like, I would think that she would have found a weak point in the time that he was a good person and that he was a master of her. But, like, obviously, like, oh, it's been years since the last time she's seen him. So, you know, he's just elevated since then. So maybe back then, if she was the person that she is at that moment she was fighting him, back then when they were masters, she probably would have. But now that it's been years and he's grown and she's grown, they're still never going to be on the same level. So I kind of expected her to not be able to do it, at least this time around. At least.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did too. I never for 1 second thought that she was going to get him. Also, and like, at this point, like, the way they're setting him up, it seems like he's not just someone like Gaara who's... Well, even the way they set Gaara up, like, you're suddenly seeing how savage these characters are, so you're like, okay, I'm feeling like I'm going to be seeing more of this. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't just bring this in for nothing, like, just for a little while. Right. So it seems like it's setting up the next story, especially being that everybody in the village is seeming to know who he is. So that right there also tells you that nothing was going to happen to him. Right. So, of course, he escapes. And...
What was your impression of Orochimaru?
I love him. He's so creepy. What about you?
I didn't like him.
He was literally so scary the first time I saw him. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Like, I didn't like him.
The reason why I like him, I think he's such a well-written character.
He's what?
I said the reason why I like him is because I think he's a very well-written character.
Oh, yes. Like, he is a very well-written character. Yes, he is a very well-written character. I still just didn't like him just because of the fact that, like, he's psychotic and just, you know, finding out later how he is and what he does, that's what makes me really not like him. As of this moment, I think I was just terrified of, like, what was going to happen. Because, like, I thought that Sasuke was going to die. And you don't even know, like, what his motive is.
And you don't even know, like, what his motive is. Like, okay, he clearly doesn't want... Like, why did he just come and bite Sasuke? And then, like, I thought Sasuke was going to die, too. Like, I thought he got poisoned when he first... Like, they started talking about a curse mark. But I thought, like, he got poisoned because of the whole snake thing. So, you know, I was just like, what the fuck?
Only makes sense.
Yeah, and he was just so creepy. Like, I mean, he was inside of this person's body, and then her face started peeling off. And already you're just like, what the fuck is this?
What is going on?
Everything about him is so creepy. Right, like, everything about it is just scary. Like, why are you inside of a dead girl's body? Like, I'm confused. But,
if anybody doesn't know...
Also, at this point, it's like, I want to see...
If anybody doesn't know, Nia was Orochimaru for Halloween.
I was. 2 years ago.
So, maybe
everybody knows.
Maybe you should put that up on Twitter. So our fans can see.
We'll see.
You don't want to show what your creation of being Orochimaru 2 years ago for Halloween? You don't want people to know about that?
Hopefully it was perfect. It was great.
So that's why I think you should post it on Twitter for our fans. I'll make her. I'll try to make her.
Yeah, maybe as because maybe I will, because I'm not dressing up this year, so maybe I will.
And it's coming, and October's coming up.
Yeah.
So, throwback to Halloween 2 years ago.
I will. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, anyway. You said you didn't like him.
Yeah.
Because he's just scary?
I just didn't like the whole premise of... I mean, I don't want to talk about too much of what happens, like, later on. At this moment.
Just at this point, like, you know, he's just now introduced at this moment. We only just now learn his name and see what he actually looks like and what he's actually supposed to look like his snake-like look. So just at this point, after his fight with Naruto and Sasuke.
I already said I was scared that, like, he was going to kill Sasuke. Like, that was literally the only thought in my head is like, you're terrifying and you're gonna kill Sasuke. Sasuke already was about to die last time, and now you really about to kill him now with your poison. Like,
that's a good point. Like, Sasuke's been kind of on the losing end these last few fights. Yeah, he's been through it. Naruto's had to come save him every time, and now Naruto's knocked out.
So we think in our head,
you know what I mean? It's like,
I thought at that moment that Sasuke actually was gonna die because, like you said, Naruto's always there to save him. I really thought he was gonna die this time.
What? You cut out. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, like you said, Naruto is always there to like come and save him. So I really thought that since Naruto was unconscious, Sasuke was actually going to die.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be part of like Naruto's, not origin story, but like, you know, your friend dies and like now like you're so serious about like training, you know, like, you know, that type of montage thing. But yeah, no, that didn't happen.
No, unfortunately.
So after the whole Orochimaru thing, we pick back up with the other teams that we've met so far, which is Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji.
Yep.
Kiba, Shino, and Hinata, and then Gaara and his siblings is who we are catching up with right now. Anyway, so also our own Team 7, our favorite team, is knocked out because only Sakura is up and conscious, which is not good.
Oh my gosh, when I tell you, okay. So before I even start about all that,
I was stressed for them. Because,
like, yes, I think Shikamaru is the most powerful out of the few. And do we have Neji and Lee are here at this point as well, right?
Yeah, I honestly though I think Lee and Neji are more powerful than Shikamaru are.
Okay, well, I was making sure that Neji and Lee were there because I'm like, wait, if they were there, Neji and Lee are more powerful than Shikamaru. It goes in that order. Like,
no, I think at first, Lee comes first to help Sakura because the Sound Ninja dudes come and attack her while Sasuke and Naruto are out. Also, at this point, we know that they work under Orochimaru, and he basically ordered them to go fight Sasuke. Yeah. Anyway, though, Lee like sees them terrorizing her and like comes to her rescue because, as we know, he already professed his love for her. Loves her so and much. It was when Lee got his ass kicked that Shikamaru and them came in because they felt bad.
In my head, if you see Lee's ass getting beat the fuck up, don't intervene. You can't win.
Lee was by himself. But Lee was by himself and he was fighting 3 other dudes. He was fighting 3 dudes. And he was alone. He had no backup. And then all he had was Sakura. And all she did was cut her hair like that helped anyone. So.
Oh my gosh, Dia. Her backstory. I was so annoyed that we even got one. My blood.
It's mostly funny because compared to everybody else's backstory. Like, we have Naruto's backstory, we have Sasuke's backstory, and then we get Sakura's backstory.
Where she's like,
and she's like, am I supposed to feel bad?
Right, she's fighting for her love for Sasuke with Ino, and then Ino's like, oh, your forehead's fat as fuck.
Like that they stop being friends.
Oh no, like what?
To the point that she straight up tells, like, we're not going to be friends anymore. Like, from now on, we're rivals because I want Sasuke. What?
This is literally their turning point. This is their turning point. And I'm like, what in the world? Sasuke only likes girls with long hair. You're the reason why he grew his hair. Like, oh my god. And then because of this, she's been
so monumental to cut her hair.
Yes, like she's supposed to, like, it's supposed to show that she's been tied down to how this man has made her feel her entire life. So she's like, you know what? I'm empowered now. I'm gonna cut my hair. And like the slow-mo.
After this moment. Yes, but after this moment, she still stays equally as whipped to Sasuke. It never changes. So I don't even understand what the whole thing was.
It's supposed to be empowering to make. It's supposed to be empowering and make like girls be like, you know what? You shouldn't let nobody tie you down. Like, whether it be a man, a woman, whatever. You're empowered. You shouldn't be stuck to this one thing, whatever the reason was. But yes, for her to be equally as whipped and he's knocked out, Sasuke, like, you taught me nothing. You taught me how to cut my hair with a pocket knife. Literally taught me how to cut my hair with shuriken. That's it. That's all you've done.
She didn't use the shuriken. She didn't use the shuriken to stab the person who was attacking her. No, she used it to cut her hair. That's what she used it for. That was the best thing she could think of.
What's so funny is that while this whole backstory is going, like, I think of her just sitting there recalling all of this stuff. So she's sitting there just reimagining all of this stuff while they're standing there being like, what is she over there mumbling about? Like, that's how I took it. Is that she's reimagining all of this backstory. She's mumbling to herself about the fact that I need to cut my hair. And
you know what was funny though? You know what had me dead at this part is when the guy is literally punching her in the head over and over again, and Ino's just watching from the bush, having her own backstory. Sakura's over there getting brain damage. Like, how many times she got punched in the head? I'm like, how is she still alive? Like, how is she still alive at this point?
Wow. I just that whole shit really had me furious. I was like, and now people wonder why I don't like her. Why people don't like her. You're telling me after watching that you feel so empowered that you love her? It just doesn't make it make sense, Mia. Can you make it make sense?
It doesn't. I can't. That one I can't help you with. But anyway, at this point where she's getting punched in the head, that's where Shikamaru and his team finally jump out from behind the bush and decide to help. And Shikamaru has his shadow paralysis jutsu. Ino has her mind transfer. Choji rolls. And I didn't expect them to win. I didn't expect them to do anything.
Honestly,
I didn't expect anything.
I was kind of disappointed a little bit by that, but also like I wasn't expecting it, but I also was happy. And the reason why is because I love Shikamaru. I love his shadow, whatever, jutsu. And I think that they all Ino and Shikamaru work really well together. Choji is kind of like the outlier in this situation, specifically because of his roly-poly powers. But like seeing Shikamaru and Ino fight together or work together, I really did like. I just was disappointed by the fact that they were able to win and take them down, but Lee wasn't even close because I see the three of them combined make one Lee.
But they didn't win either.
Oh.
They didn't win either. Sasuke
ends up waking got her paralyzed.
They did. Okay, but no, this is where they fucked up. So their little Ino Chikacho formation was perfect. Like, they were in time. Like, Shikamaru got the guy with his paralysis. Ino went into the girl's body. And Choji was, occupying the other dude. So once Ino went into the girl's body, they're like, oh, we won because I'm going to kill her unless you, leave. And they were like, they thought that would have been enough because in their little village, their humble little village, that would have been enough. Like, don't kill my friend. Here, you can have, that would have been in the Leaf village. These guys are like, kill her. I don't give a flying fuck. Kill her. Do it. I dare you.
That shows that she's weak.
So that was what fucked them up. Exactly. Right. So that's what fucked them up because, number one, the Leaf Village kids are not equipped for murder yet. That's what we see. These other kids are murdering like it's nothing, and the Leaf Village is not doing that. So obviously she wasn't going to kill her.
Which makes no sense.
So she goes back into her whole body, and that messed up their whole formation. Like, they basically bluffed, and the fact that the other ninjas called their bluff fucked up their whole thing. Like, if they would have actually been able to, like, grow some balls and maybe kill her, maybe they would have won. But, like, they didn't. So, so it just didn't work out. And at that moment, that was when Sasuke, he's having his flashback in his head while his curse mark thing is surging of his brother calling him weak and shit, and just pissing him off, replaying the death of his whole family, like. While Sakura's over here crying about her forehead, Sasuke is remembering that his family got slaughtered by his own brother. And he wakes up and he chooses violence. He wakes up and chooses violence. Like, he was not playing with them Sound Ninja as soon as he got up. So yeah, he was the one who won that.
Again, taking turns. Who's on the pedestal first? Who's on the pedestal next? Where is Naruto at this point? He's knocked out still.
He's still unconscious. Like I said, it's gonna be like he's out for a good minute.
That's what I thought.
Like, I mean, like, I don't know how many days it's been at this point since they fought Orochimaru, but I'm pretty sure it's been a minute. Because they're going through this whole thing and they're still knocked out. And when Sasuke finally does wake up and he breaks the guy's arms, first of all, they were acting all like, oh my god, you broke my arms. But you were about to kill me. Like, I'm supposed to feel bad that I broke your arms?
Right.
I feel like they made way too big of the whole broken arm thing.
Like, I think they underestimated them. Like, I don't think that Orochimaru may have like prepared them. I just don't think that they saw them as powerful as they are to be able to break arms.
I mean, but that was Sasuke who did that. He's the Uchiha. And if he's there for Sasuke, okay, you know Sasuke got some, that Sasuke is powerful.
But they didn't. The people that were actually fighting him didn't. They didn't know that. Like,
well,
just
either way, like, they were so sensitive.
I was going to say, either way, Orochimaru didn't warn them how powerful that he could be. They just like, oh, come get this 8-year-old boy, this 12-year-old boy. That's all you need to do. So they probably thought, they're like, oh, this is easy. Even though he's trying to be a ninja, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. I think in the scene we realized that Orochimaru but the Sound Ninja realized that they're being manipulated by Orochimaru. But I think whatever his orders were to them contradicted the fact that Sasuke already has his curse mark and already came in contact with Orochimaru. So I feel like they're kind of waking up to the fact that they're being used in this scene. Mm-hmm. And they like kind of, and so the one guy's arms are broken. I forgot what happened to the girl specifically, but she's out too.
I don't remember what happened.
And the guy just retreats. Yeah, I don't remember. It was irrelevant. But the guy just retreats, and he's like, we're going to deal with this later. And, they go back to their separate ways. And that's when they meet Kabuto again. Because Sakura and Naruto have the bright idea to open up their scroll.
And he comes out of nowhere.
I was not surprised at Naruto for this. I was not surprised at Naruto for wanting to do this because we all know my boy is slow. I was very surprised at Sakura actually going along with it.
Huh? I was surprised that Naruto didn't do it before. Sakura, I don't know. Right. I don't know how I felt about Sakura doing it. It kind of was surprising a little bit that she went along with it, but definitely Naruto, I would have imagined him to be, before the games even started and they got the scrolls, he's like, why can't we open it? I don't care. I'm going to be Hokage anyway. But, like, that didn't happen.
Yeah. I know. I would have expected that too, but no. And I'm surprised that Sakura was going along with it. And they literally, and at the same time is when you brought up how we do see the consequence of what happens. So at the same time that they're trying to open it, some other guys are already doing it, and they open it and end up getting. Well, we don't see what happens to them. We just know something happens to them. Yeah.
I thought they got killed.
I thought they got killed too because they made it really dramatic, and I was like, "Oh well, damn! They really wasn't playing about these scrolls."
Right? They didn't show nothing. They only showed like a body part, like on the ground, like this, and then like and it just seemed. Yeah, it just seemed like somebody who got murdered.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, Kabuto like saves them, and despite that, Sasuke was like, I'm gonna steal your scroll. Which I thought was so funny.
He's like, oh, you're here? Thanks.
I thought that was so funny. But Kabuto's like, whoa, how about I help you instead? Like, no need, like, kumbaya. So they team up, and he helps them get their scroll. They fight, well, before that, they fight, like, this one guy who also has a bunch of clones, and he thinks his clones are better than Naruto's, and obviously,
they're not.
Who's the show named after? So, Naruto's win, and and then they get their scroll, and when they finally open it, Aruka's inside.
Okay,
after he's been bitching and moaning this whole time.
I want to go back just real quick to the fact that Kabuto insisted on helping them. The fact that they didn't realize that you're supposed to be in a team of 3, where are the other 2 folks that you're supposed to be with? They didn't even question the fact that Kabuto was trying to help them. Like, yes, as children,
they did that. I think they did that.
They did do it?
Yeah, and his excuse was that he's supposed to be meeting back up with them by the tower or whatever, the exit tower.
That still seems sus, though, because it's like, why did y'all get split up in the first place? Like, you have no idea if your teammates were ever able to get this another scroll or not. Like, you have no idea. So why would you want to meet back up at the tower if you have no idea if they got a scroll or not? Like, it's just, they didn't think about that.
Right.
Anyway, continue. They meet.
I don't understand why they just trusted him. So they trusted him way too easily. Even Sasuke trusted him too easily for me.
I think it's just because the fact that they met him before the exam started, and they talked with him, and he helped them out a little bit. That he like basically manipulated them and tried to get them like, oh, you can trust me because I talked to you earlier and I gave you information that you needed to know, and so therefore now you can trust me to do anything with you. Dumb, still dumb. Y'all are ninja. Don't trust anybody.
I was very disappointed in them for that one. But either way, they got their scroll and they passed. It worked out. Yeah, for them, I guess. So yeah, Aruka shows up and basically lets them know that they passed the second exam. But like now they have to do like a whole another exam. So we'll pick back up there and see how it goes.
Yep. Well, that's a wrap on this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on Naruto episodes 20 through 37, and we hope you come back next Wednesday. Next episode, we'll have a bonus.
Don't forget to connect with us at bakahanasu@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Lotta Baka. Info in the show notes below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!